If you're penning a mystery, don't stress about crafting an investigator as brainy as Sherlock Holmes or devising some ingenious trick to wrap up the mystery. What really makes a mystery story gripping is the way you deal with and conquer logical fallacies. This lightbulb moment came to me while I was leafing through John Truby's The Anatomy of Genre. It seems like a no-brainer when you say this out loud. The detective story isn't about being a megamind. It's about thinking the right way. It's all about jumping over those mental hurdles that keep us from finding the solution. Now, when you're writing a mystery, there are two main spots where you can slot these mental roadblocks in. The first is with the folks who disagree with the investigator and reach other conclusions. If you've ever played or seen the Ace Attorney franchise, you know that these make for some perfect examples. To show what I mean, let's use one of the earliest cases, Turnabout Sisters. So, we've got these two sisters, Mia and Maya Fey. Mia is Phoenix's mentor, Maya is her younger sister. Showing up at the office late at night, Phoenix stumbles upon a horrifying scene, Maya sobbing over her sister's lifeless body. While Phoenix is investigating everything, a witness dials up the police and Detective Dick Gumshoe hits the scene. He finds a receipt with the name Maya scrawled on it and a busted glass light stand. Without skipping a beat, Gumshoe decides Maya is guilty and slaps the cuffs on her. One thing leads to another and Phoenix gotta prove Maya's innocence. Along the way, he's squaring off against a whole bunch of logical fallacies. Like, for starters, he's up against hasty generalization / conjunction fallacy. This is when someone makes a snap judgment based on little evidence and doesn't even consider other potential explanations that could fit the same clues. And once they've got Maya in their sights as the suspect, hello confirmation bias. This is what Phoenix is wrestling with often in cases. Every piece of evidence they find, the prosecution is like, yep, that confirms our first guess. And that means they're totally blind to any other leads or evidence that could poke holes in their theory. And man, the folks in these stories don't stop there with the hasty judgments and confirmation bias. There's a whole bunch of other missteps they make. I'll throw some of them up on the screen for you. The real kicker here is that all these people are trying to solve the case, but their own biases, preconceived notions, and beliefs are throwing a wrench in the works. So, when you're cooking up your own mysteries, think about what mental blocks might be keeping your characters from seeing what's really going on. And hey, don't stop at the supporting cast. Want to level up your mystery? Make the investigator do some self-searching. Make them face their own flaws and biases. Because sometimes, the key to solving the mystery isn't just about picking apart the evidence. It's about the investigator picking apart their own thought process. To show you what I mean, let's chat about Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery for a sec. I'll dodge as many spoilers as I can, but let's dive into why it takes Blanc a hot minute to figure out a whodunit. The answer was so dumb, he didn't give it the time of day. He goes off about this during his wrap-up speech, all but saying that he fell for a little something called availability heuristics. That's a fancy term for when you use the first thing that pops into your head to make sense of something. For Blanc, he's used to dealing with murders that look like they could be a plot of a blockbuster movie, so he figured this one had to be just as wild. And, well, it's not. The fact Benoit Blanc falls for this introduces a dynamic that's unique to this mystery story. This is why getting into the investigator's head can add a whole new dimension to your mystery. If you want to give a character some growth or play up the tragedy, think about what hangups they might have that could trip them up. Even if your audience figures out the mystery before your detective does, there's still a story to be told. The story of how your investigator finally sees the light. Now, before we wrap this up, let's flip the script and look at things from the villain's perspective. I still stand by the idea that you don't need some clever trick to make a good mystery, but you do need to figure out how the villain hides their tracks. They're not just up to no good, they're actively trying to lead your detective down the wrong path. What your detective and the baddie are really fighting over is which version of events sticks with the public. Take Zootopia for example. Spoiler alert if you've somehow missed it. The real puppet master behind all the chaos with the predators in Zootopia is Assistant Mayor Dawn Bellwether, a sheep who knows how to work people's biases to her advantage. She plays up the whole innocent prey versus dangerous predator stereotype to throw everyone off her scent. Judy even falls for Dawn's deceptions because she has her own unconscious prejudices against predators. She also sees Dawn as a kindred spirit, another underdog in the system. But once Judy recognizes and addresses her own biases, she sees the light and cracks the case wide open. I bet you'll start spotting these logical fallacies all over the place in your favorite mysteries now. To help you better identify them, I'll include a link to sources you can use in the description. Give it a shot and see what you find. Maybe it'll even spark an idea for your own mystery. I'm always down to hear what you find or come up with if you want to start a dialogue in the comments. But hey, just a heads up, this is just dipping your toe into the world of mystery writing. Like, did you know that there are 2 different ways you can structure your investigation? If you're itching to know more, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you won't miss out when that video drops. Want to bump that video up in the queue? Make sure to cast your vote on our near weekly community poll to decide what the topic for the next video is.